What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2023 GMC Sierra 1500. This is the AT4X, finished off in deep bronze metallic. MSRP is around $90,000. So let's get right into this off-road focused pickup truck. Underneath the hood of the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500, you're going to find that naturally aspirated 6.2 liter 8-cylinder motor. This V8 is pushing out 420 horsepower with 460 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Of course, this does feature a 4-wheel drive transfer case, and with a curb weight around 5,500 pounds, running on a 24-gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 14 miles per gallon in the city with 17 out on the highway. This truck can also tow, if properly equipped, around 9,000 pounds with max payload capacity around 1,400 pounds. Overall length is 232.8 inches with a wheelbase at 147.4. Height is 78.7 and width is 81.2 inches. Ground clearance is also going to be around 11.2 inches. The AT4X is also going to feature a bunch of AEV products. You're going to see the steel front and rear bumpers along with rock sliders on the side, custom wheels, and then it has a ton of steel skid plates underneath for the differential, transfer case, as well as the gas tank. And then of course you're going to see the Multimatic suspension in the front and in the rear. All the dampers are even going to feature piggyback reservoirs to really make this truck super off-road capable. Moving on to the exterior styling with the AT4X, we get a really nice set of LED headlights. You can see the amber color along with that daytime running light, the LED beam right in the center, and a pretty nice dark design throughout the housing. We get some body color towards the inside. As we make our way to this grille, you can see some bronze grayish color with the GMC badge along with a forward-facing camera. Huge openings right here to allow a ton of cooling to that massive 8-cylinder engine. We get the AT4 badge as well, and then as we make our way down, you can see that steel bumper. There's LED fog lights in it. You can also see parking sensors, steel tow hooks, a nice badge throughout it. Just a really aggressive design. We get some gloss black trim on the upper portion of the hood, and some nice sharp body lines fading their way towards that windshield. Overall, the AT4X definitely has an aggressive design, especially with that massive bumper and the grille design. And this paint color really pops in the sunlight. On the side, you're going to see plastic black surrounding the wheel arch, and then we get these really nice AEV wheels. Finished off in a gloss black color, they're also 18-inch in diameter, and they say GMC throughout the center, and they're wrapped in a Goodyear all-terrain tire. You can get a pretty good look at the suspension components behind the wheel, and then you can see the 6.2 V8 badge on the side. So nice front fender overall, and as you make our way to the side profile, we get a massive AT4X badge, a better look at the frame sliders, and a sharp body line throughout the door panels. There's gloss black for the door handles, and gloss black along with some plastic black on the side mirrors. There's an LED light on it, as well as a side view camera, and then all black trim surrounding the windows. We do get a sunroof up on top, and then moving to the side profile itself, being the crew cab with the shorter bed, has a really proportional look, and I think it really fits the design nicely. This has a lift kit over the standard truck, so of course it's a little bit higher than your typical GMC Sierra. You're going to see a nice sharp body line throughout the bedside, and we also get that power sliding rear glass with a third brake light and then 2 cameras up there for the technology within the truck. You can also see that steel bumper in back wrapping around. We get more parking sensors, steel tow hooks, a high clearance design for that dual exhaust, trailer hitch connections in the center with all of your different plugs. We have the AEV badge over on the left side, and then GMC Sierra throughout the center. There also is a satin black vinyl design for the upper portion of the tailgate. You can see LED light, a camera, and then 2 different buttons to operate the tailgate. So overall, I think the back end looks nice with the sharp lines throughout the lower portion of the tailgate, and you really can't go wrong with this muscular appearance. Making our way to the key fob, we get lock, unlock, remote start in your tailgate, then GMC on the backside. If I go ahead and lock the truck, of course this does have a smart key, so you can just grab the door handle, press the button, it'll automatically unlock. We can check out this obsidian interior. Very cool looking leather with some nice piping as well as a little bit of contrast. The door panel finished off in black, smooth black leather, and then a very nice contour design to this pattern, along with a dark wood trim. We have all of your memory seating, AT4X badge, window and mirror controls, and more of this textured vinyl material. You can see red stitching along the armrest with more of the piping and leather, a ton of storage, and then a Bose audio system. We get the badge on the door sill along with all-weather floor mats, and then more power controls for the seat. See all those buttons, and then this beautiful obsidian black leather. Very smooth, along with perforations in the center with more red stitching, and I love that contour makes its way to the seats, all the contrast piping and stitching. It's a super premium looking interior. We get the badge up on top stitched along with the AT4X logo, and then a black steering wheel with some dark trim. And then now inside the Sierra, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. We have the two 13-inch screens that are gonna roar life, and then a full digital instrument cluster. You can see the speedometer on the left side with your tach on the right side, and I really like how you can configure it. Using the controls on the right side, if I go ahead and scroll left or right, we can see a few different things that are gonna come up for navigation. You also have phone integration, as well as a bunch of settings. If I go to display layout, you can configure the actual design, so into a more traditional layout, as you can see with round gauges, and then we have a digital one that'll clean it up just a little bit, and then a clean one which takes away pretty much everything out of the screen. So pretty nice the way they've done everything, just to give you a customizable screen, pretty modern and up to date, and then you can even configure what you'd like to see in different sections of the screen. So really makes it useful. You can configure all these different ones, so definitely a nice way to go for the screen. If we take a look at the steering wheel now, we get that GMC badge. Cruise control settings are on the left with your forward pacing. You also have a heated steering wheel control, and then some Bluetooth and audio controls. We do have paddle shifters on the back side. The volume button is on the back of the steering wheel as well, along with track tuning. And then you can see the turn signal stalk on the left with windshield wiper controls. On the left side, you can see all of your headlight controls, along with four-wheel drive settings, bed dome light, and then different drive modes. If we configure this, we have a few different drive modes for terrain, off-road, and normal. When you're into terrain mode, it'll kind of give you a slow speed assist, maintaining a slower speed when rock crawling. You can see one of the air vents on the left, really cool design, the smooth leather, and then a heads-up display system. More piping and stitching makes its way across the dashboard. And then on the far side, we get more of this dark color. You can press this button and open up the secondary glove box. There's actually a pretty decent amount of space in there. And then of course your standard glove box down below. More of the leather and stitching makes its way across the lower dashboard. And then as we make our way to the infotainment screen, it's a really nice design. You can see all of our climate controls coming up. You can also scroll up and down on this far right side and see a few things that are going to come up on the screen. And then if we toggle the home menu, you can still configure the screen on the right side, but then go through all sorts of different settings. If I go left, you can see of course navigation, your audio controls, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. We also have more shortcuts on the left side for all of your trailering settings. You're able to customize different trailers you're going to be commonly towing. We can tap this icon as well, get into any Bluetooth, of course navigation with all the Google integration. We also have different audio controls that will come up, and then back to your home screen. If I tap the cameras now, this has a really nice camera system. You can see that forward-facing camera along with a top-down view. You can easily configure this from front to back. We can see a top-down, front and back as well. You can view your wheels. You have a trailer hitch one as well that you can take a look at. And then if I continue over, we have one for the bed to see what's in there. So definitely a really good usable camera system. There are physical climate controls down below. We have your temperature on the left and right side with dual zone, heated and ventilated seating, all of your different zones, fan speed, things like that. And when you toggle anything on the screen, it'll also come up there as well. We have a bunch of toggles down here for your lane keeping and parking, the tailgate release, traction control, locking differentials, and downhill assist. There's a ton of storage space all throughout the center with USB ports. We have your gear selector, the trailer brake adjustments you're able to mess with, and take a look at all that, and it'll come up on the screen too. And more of the stitching, a little bit of storage, wireless phone charging, this cool textures throughout the center with more leather and stitching. And then just opening that up, we have a ton of storage space all underneath. You get a better look at the wireless charging and plugs, and really a large bucket. One last look at the interior. The newest generation Sierra, definitely a great place to be with a nice design and really good fit and finish. We do have a suede headliner finished in black, manual sunshade up there as well for the sunroof. You have garage door openers. You can see your buttons for the sunroof along with the sliding rear glass, and then the rear view mirror is also a camera. You can go back and forth between them super easily. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel's finished off just like we saw up front. You can get the same cool texture and then all the stitching. You can take a look at the rear seats with all the same material. You see all the same stitching and everything, and it can seat 3 people. The center seat can be pulled down. You have armrests along with some storage, and then I really like how these headrests you can also fold down for better driver visibility. There's also storage in the backrest as well. You can fit some decent sized items in here for hidden storage. Then you have heated seats, climate control vents, USB ports. You have compartments on the backside, and you can easily lift up these seats, and it reveals even more hidden storage space underneath. You have a huge cubby down here and a pretty flat floor to make this a super useful utility vehicle. All right, so sitting now in the back seat of the Sierra, the 1500 is a pretty good sized truck. At 5'11", I'm sitting back here, plenty of headroom, even legroom with my height. No issues there if I was in the driver's seat. You have pretty good windows too to make it feel pretty open. Armrests are in a great place. Wouldn't mind the seats reclining a little bit more or having maybe some sort of different angle, so you do feel a little bit straight up. But again, it's still useful enough for full-grown adults to fit back here. There's also LED dome lights. You have grab handles wrapped in leather, which is a nice little touch, and overall, not too bad of a back seat. Now taking a look at the tailgate and bed space, I love the function of this. If you go ahead, press the lower button, it's gonna open up like your typical tailgate with a soft open. We do have a nice spray and bed liner, even says AT4X up on front, and there's quite a few different hooks for tie downs. There's LED lights, power outlet on the far side, and you see a handle that will pop up if needed. Now along the tailgate, you can grab this lever, pull this up, and we have a built-in bed extender. So if you're gonna be hauling 2x4s or plywood, they're gonna fit nicely in here and have that to secure them. And you can reach your hand down and press the upper button, and this whole piece is going to open upwards. It's an integrated step to make this insanely easy to enter and exit or even load up larger items like a motorcycle by yourself. We even have a kicker audio system built into the tailgate, all wireless Bluetooth connectivity. Sounds very good. So fantastic if you're hitting the trails, hanging out, tailgating, or whatever. This is a definitely super useful tailgate. It's also not all too heavy. You can lift it up, and if we close it, you can even use it like this to haul different sorts of items. So still pretty useful. If we go ahead and close this, we now have a workbench. So if you're using this as your work truck, you can put stuff up here, use this as a nice chest height table, and of course, independently close that up. All right, so we are setting off now in the Sierra. It is definitely a nicely powerful truck with that massive V8. Gets up to speed, has a good sound to it. As far as normal driving, with that off-road suspension, it is really good off-road. Now we took a ZR2 Silverado Bison off-road, which has the same drivetrain and everything. It was really good. The soft suspension really does a good job absorbing bumps, and that translates to a really nice on-road drive. It is a really smooth, luxurious feeling pickup truck that doesn't just drive like a harsh truck. You have a really good view out the windshield. You can see some of the contours within the hood. Mirrors all do a pretty good job as well, and pretty much no blind spot issues or anything like that. Of course, you can put those rear seat headrests down. But this is a nice truck to be in. The tech is easy to use. It looks fantastic in here. General Motors did a great job with this new generation. On top of that, these leather seats, not only are the materials you touch very nice in this truck, they feel really good. It's super comfortable. All the buttons really let you do what you want to do and just be in comfort. The massage button on the side does a pretty good job as well. So it just literally feels like a premium luxurious vehicle. Being $90,000, it better give you everything. And this is a truck you can daily drive, you can do the commuting with, the family stuff, and you can use this as a work truck and do utility work with it. So it seems to be just a really good platform. As far as wind noise, ride quality, stuff like that, it's pretty pleasant. Even just going 45 right now on a normal road, nice and comfortable. When you're out on the highway, once again, really no issues. Only thing you're gonna notice, of course, with a big truck, comparing this at least to a Colorado, is the footprint is rather large. You have to turn the steering wheel several times to make a turn, and it certainly, you have to move it around. So it's a big truck, you just gotta navigate it, but with all the cameras and everything, I don't have issues pinpointing where this truck is, and it just feels like a pretty usable, user-friendly type of truck. So setting off now, my perspective, honest thoughts with the Sierra. Honestly, it's one of my more favorite trucks. I think it looks awesome, especially with the bumpers, the lift, the wheels, tires, everything like that. It's a really nice looking truck, and it turns some heads. People have waved to me in this, have given me thumbs up. clearly it's a truck that stands out. It's not over the top like some trucks, maybe with like a body kit looking vehicle, you know, with all sorts of stuff on it. It's a clean, classy, mature looking vehicle with that off-road inspiration. And after taking the ZR2 off-road, honestly, it's pretty darn capable. You got the power, you got the technology, the 3 different drive modes. While it's nothing crazy like a Raptor or TRX, they're plenty. They're gonna do what you need to do for at least moderate trails and job site situations. So it seems like a very usable truck, and just kind of that mature level of, it's not the fastest, not a supercharged V8, but it's a nice blend. And I really do like the interior. GM, they were definitely falling behind with the previous generation trucks. These new ones are so nice. I'm so used to it. I'm so familiar with them already. There's not really a big learning curve. You can really hop in this, a couple seconds, kind of get yourself squared away, and it's pretty intuitive to where you can just drive this and use it from the day to day, and you're gonna be comfortable. You know, I had the Silverado and then the new Colorado the week after that, and of course it's all kind of the same as this, and it just seems like a good place to be. And with the GMC, you know, there's just that little extra touch. I love all the extra leather on the interior. It really does feel like an inviting interior, and for $90,000, like I mentioned, it better be nice. That is a lot of money for a truck these days. Trucks like this, they're getting expensive. Now you can still get a Sierra 1500, a more basic one, for maybe 40 grand, nicely equipped. So it's not like you have to drop this kind of money for one. However, I know a lot of people who have the fully loaded 1500s or even 2500 style of vehicles, $100,000 trucks, and they use them for everything. They tow their weekend haulers, horse trailers, race car trailers, motocross trailers. They go on family vacations, and then from the day-to-day, they use this as work trucks, towing boats, towing trailers on the job site, driving through mud and ruts. So these are trucks that are really well-rounded, and while it's a lot of money for what used to be just a basic truck back in the day, it can kind of do everything that other vehicles just can't do. Plenty of power. The 10-speed shifts really nice and smooth. It's a pretty easy truck to drive, and everything just kind of feels normal. Power delivery is good. Nothing really weird about it. I wouldn't say I really have any downfalls with this in general. I don't think there's really much to hate about it. I think at this level of vehicle, you're really picking what interior do you like the best, which truck do you like to look at, and what's the best deal you can get out there. So it seems like it's a good truck. I don't really think anything falls short with the new Sierra. And this trim level, especially the AT4X on top of the standard AT4, it gives you that little bit extra with the suspension bumpers and stuff like that. It's also a pretty competent to drive truck. You know, I'm hitting some sharp turns that I take in the sports cars, and the suspension really does handle it. It doesn't feel like the old school trucks, how they were bouncy, rough, hard to handle. It's a semi-luxurious ride where it's kind of like if you want an Escalade, but you really do need the utility of a bed, you're kind of going to get an Escalade in here to some extent, but still get, of course, a pickup truck at the end of the day. I've used these trucks to haul lumber and stuff for house projects I'm working on, and it's just been incredibly useful. And at the same time, my wife and I can drive this day to day, and it's a comfortable, luxurious place to be, like what we're used to with the European cars. So they've knocked it out of the park with this. I don't really see any issues. Comment below for those of you who own these trucks. What do you not like about them? From my perspective, I've have probably a couple thousand miles in these trucks overall at this point, and they seem like pretty solid trucks. That is it for the 2023 GMC Sierra, the AT4X. Super sweet spec for sure. Definitely a nice truck. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content. I'll see you all in the next video.